This new moon on July 24th is a brand new beginning, but it is going to feel like bringing back the past. It's conjunct Mercury retrograde. I'm going to talk about that. There is tension in the sky that is breaking free of the way that we have derived pleasure, the way that we connect in relationships, the way that we exchange information in relationships. There is a fated component to relationships changing right now. This moon is in opposition to Pluto, which is going to create a moment of release. This is going to potentially feel a lot more like a full moon than a fresh start because there is so much opportunity for letting things go. And with that conjunction to Mercury retrograde, this is about past energy, a lot more than a new beginning. We have had the nodes activated in the last full moon, in this new moon, and we're coming up to eclipse season in September. So the energy right now is about clearing out the past and fated changes that we are going to notice more showing up come September and especially spring of 2026. I'm going to give you all of the important highlights of this new moon and what to expect as a general overview for all signs. Then check your sign by sign to get a better understanding of where and how this is going to show up for your sign. I'm Jen Keane from Full Cup Astrology. This is a reading for tropical Western astrology, and general readings are based on whole sign house systems. So if you are looking at a Placidus chart of yours, switch it into whole sign or just check out the signs next to your sign, and that might give you more information. Mercury retrograde started July 17th. It was stationed to retrograde. It will be retrograde until August 11th, 12th. Give it a few days before you're doing important things beyond that. I do have my 2025 planners that talk all about the Mercury retrogrades for the year and the rest of the new moons and full moons and eclipses in little mini readings for each sign. If you're interested in that, send me your info through my website. I'll link that in the description below, and I'll pass those on to you for no cost at all. This new moon axis of Leo and Aquarius is an axis that we had highlighted at the end of 2024, where there were Mars-Pluto oppositions. They went on again at the beginning of this year. That has passed us, but this new moon is in a very similar position. So there are themes that are repeating from last fall and earlier this year that are going to show up now in a way that you're going to have the opportunity to clear any last details with Mercury and Leo. And the sign of Leo is about our creative self-expression. It is when we are most authentic. And with Pluto in Aquarius, there is potentially some trauma around being unique, being different. And what that can look like is that we create a rigidity around that allows us to feel like we belong, that allows us to feel like we connect with other people in a way that's normal in society. But that lacks authenticity. We just came out of a Capricorn full moon, and whatever happened around that full moon, I will link that video in the description below if you haven't seen that. That's going to give you clues as to which structures you're breaking through to now at this new moon have a moment to step into a way of being that makes you feel more authentic. Whether that's with relationships, whether that's with work, it's going to show up in different parts of life for everyone. But the theme of authenticity and being a creative human being is going to be at the core for everyone. This Pluto opposition to the new moon is going to express an area where releasing and purging something that you fear around connection and isolation, around being different and breaking the mold versus being part of this system. This is a moment where something from the past is likely to come up that can create an emotional reaction. Chiron is also in square to the moon and Pluto, and Chiron is our wounded healer. Chiron is the energy that will activate a sensitive point for each person that reflects an area where we care deeply about helping others on the same journey as us. A Chiron wound is referred to the wounded healer because with that wounding, we develop a strong, sensitive, nurturing passion for others that relates to that feeling. And Aquarius energy, where Pluto is, that's more about isolation and not having anyone connected to where you're at. That is a wound that feels like no one else in the world understands where you're coming from, what you've been through. This energy being stirred up with a square tension could feel uncomfortable in the moment, but that very discomfort is the ingredient that makes us pay attention. And it's an opportunity to really question that energy from the past that is emotionally challenging, whether it's friction with other people. It's an opportunity to have space to transform what feels confining, what feels like we cannot be authentic and eccentric and different, and breaking through what society expects of us in a way that is good for everyone. This isn't about breaking rules to harm others. This is about not accepting conformity that limits us from feeling like each of us has a unique gift to offer the world. At the very same time, Venus, our planet of romance and relationships and sensuality and pleasure and beauty and money, assets, values, she is squaring the nodes. We do have a lot of squares at this moment. And also Mars, that's conjunct the South Node. This is a battle of action and receiving, yin and yang. This is the polarity of feminine and masculine in a conversation of tension where something with Mars in Virgo needs to be released. This could stir up anger and frustration, realizing that acting from those emotions of anger and frustration and feeling violated in some way even, that doesn't always produce the best outcome. Important emotions, again, to get us to pay attention and to understand that there's something really important going on inside of us. In Virgo, it could have to do with being overly concerned with getting all of our ducks in a row, so to speak, or having information sorted and deeply understood. We could feel overwhelmed by the details of the world, by the details of relationships, finances. Connecting on an intellectual level could be more challenging. We could find that we're at odds with a lot of knowledge that is being exchanged between people. What we want to look at a deeper level with Venus in Gemini is that the details of the language that we use, the facts that we gather, those are not the essence of security or truth in a matter. So when we're having these conversations with people we love, with important people in our lives, when it comes to financial matters, this is the type of energy where we want to question the words, question the language being used, and look for the nuances of the energy and the themes behind the words. With Mercury retrograde, this is a time where confusion and misunderstandings are on high. This Mercury retrograde is also ruling Venus in Gemini because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, squaring the nodes. So it's these misunderstandings in relationships and money and security that are going to create fated change on the axis of Virgo and Pisces. This nodal axis is going to be highlighted in September when we have eclipses. That's going to be when things start moving forward. And so just keep in mind that whatever is unfolding right now could be inaccurate, could be misunderstood, is an opportunity for release, is an opportunity to look at how we handle our own frustration and anger, motivations, what motivates us to take action, and is it from a place of authenticity? And it's somehow in these times of heightened confusion and misunderstandings that we take the time to get more authentic. We take the time to understand where the mistakes have been made and go over things and redo it in a way that we have something better to show for afterwards. We also have several planets retrograde. Pluto is retrograde. Saturn recently went retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. This is another indicator of the internal processing that's important right now. So hang in there with all of this confusion. This is an opportunity to get more clarity, to feel more creative. It's the messiness that is going to make us all feel more cerebral and contemplative. And it's through that process that we're going to find our way forward and ultimately feel better when we have a refined Leo version of ourselves and we feel like we can go out and express freely who we are from a place of healthy authenticity and sense of everyone being important, everyone's uniqueness being important. Not that there's any ranking of someone being more special than another, but creating that balance for everyone to have a unique space. Being demanding in gentle ways, not overly worrying or being too concerned about the details or the information through words, but getting more clear on the essence of what it is that we're trying to express. And then the words and information comes to us from a more yin perspective, where when we are in touch with the energy at the core of the situation, we magnetize the right words, the right people, the right situations. If we are coming from a place of fear and insecurity, or that no one's going to hear us, or that we cannot be authentic, then we're going to have more of a scattered cerebral and physical experience that matches that. Wait until the end of August into September to see how this really is going to play out. Thank you so much for being here, checking out this video. If you'd like to process more with your personal chart, I will link my booking site in the description below. It is so much fun to hang out with you here, though, chatting with you in the comments, seeing the new subscribers. It really means so much. Thank you, thank you. And now let's get into your sign. Hi, Libra. This new moon is in your 11th house. So this is about community, networks, the bigger organizations and societal groups that you're part of. With a new moon here and Mercury retrograde, groups from the past could come back around, circles and communities that you were a part of. Maybe you're going back to a society of sorts that you were part of in the past. But with Chiron in your 7th house, there's one significant person or your themes around one-on-one partnerships within these communities are going to be highlighted. Pluto's in your 5th house, and that is an energy of releasing what you thought was fun. What you used to find fun and authentic and joyful, playful, it could show up in a way that triggers an old wound with one-on-one partnerships that makes you realize that you are maybe not aligned with certain people, more aligned with others. You are going to be finding people that match this imprint for you, that match this sensitivity you feel in the world around partnerships. When you find people that have this similar sensitivity and Chiron feeling towards partnerships, which could have to do with just being there for another person, really listening. Or because we have this new moon in Leo, this is about both people showing up as authentically as possible. But again, we want to be seen in Leo energy. We want to really be heard and seen for who we are. And Mercury retrograde is going to feel like we're not being heard. It's not necessarily the case. It's just that with this retrograde energy, it's purposefully highlighting an area that could use improvement with communication and expression, especially in communities for you. Do you feel drowned out? Do you feel like you can be this unique expression that's seen amongst the crowd? There is a lot of Uranian energy for you. The 11th house is by classic position Aquarius and a Uranian house, which is an energy of doing something that's radically different than what has been done before, maybe in partnerships, maybe with groups and networks, maybe with media and marketing and reaching the masses. Some of you could be more in the public light. And it could be that your relationships or your relationship knowledge is getting highlighted. This is also energy where if some of you are in relationships that are not conventional or new and radical in some way, you're breaking the mold of how romance and joy through the fun of getting to know someone is being done differently. With these general readings, so many people have different ways of connecting to this energy, so it's hard to get into the actual detail. But the essence is very strong Leo and Aquarius axis for you. Very much about being seen in the crowd, being unique in the crowd and in society. That's what you want. That's what brings you fun and pleasure. Yet there could have been things from the past that were holding you back from really stepping into that energy. The nodal axis for you is in the 6th and 12th house. You're letting go of subconscious worries in this process when it comes to relationships. Venus in your 9th house, squaring the south node, and Mars, ideas are changing the way that you view the world. Your belief systems, the things that you think are true, authentic. When you're searching for higher truth, it can sometimes crumble other ideas that you've held on to. It looks like in the process of seeking more truth around relationships and security and money and beauty, abundance and pleasure in the world, something that was hidden in your subconscious comes to light. This is going to help you put more energy behind the momentum of things that you do with the North Node in your 6th house. The energy around your health could change. But with the South Node conjunction to Mars in your 12th house, letting go of worry could make your day-to-day life very different. Letting go of overly managing tasks, always being busy behind the scenes, is going to allow you to be more present in your day-to-day life with your health and with the work that you do. This looks like an exceptional amount of creative energy for Libras, being seen by more people, being able to be more yourself, whatever that means for each of us. It's going to be different. A wonderful opportunity to take past pains and hurts from relationships and your sense of being able to connect with others in the world and turn that into a creative project, turn that into something you can teach others, and turn that into an opportunity to let go of something in your subconscious that has been perpetuating that thought about relationships, that thought that you cannot be yourself. Maybe parts of yourself that you completely disconnected from because someone in some past experience made you feel that that wasn't okay. But you're in a new day, a new era, and what was not okay 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago might actually be something that the world needs right now. At the very least, your society that you're a part of, your communities, your groups of people, your audience, all of that stuff. Someone from one of those groups could come back from the past and help you heal some relationship wounds as well. I'm curious to hear how this shows up for you, Libra. Venus is your ruler that is in Gemini and squaring the nodes. So that is extra potent energy for Libras out there. You might be feeling a bit more feisty about seeking knowledge and getting ideas out there. Wonderful energy to use to your advantage. Thank you so much for being here. It is so much fun chatting with you in the comments. And if you would like more videos, I will link those in the description below. There's so much going on this year and would love to see you for one-on-one readings. That will also be linked in the description. Have a wonderful new moon and I will see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This is a 10th house new moon. So what is it about authority figures, your authority in the world, your inner authority because of all of these retrogrades? You have a natural for being out there, being seen. Everyone's chart is going to be different, but with Leo in your 10th house, this is a natural ability to be more authentic. You want to creatively express, and you want that to be how you lead out in the world. But there are topics coming back from the past that are up for reconfiguring. There's something about the work that you get done every day, the things that you do for your daily work, your daily exercise, your habits, your routines. This is the 6th house where Chiron is. With the Chiron 6th house wound, there could be a feeling that what you do is never enough, that the work is endless, that you can't keep up with all of the details of your life, or that when you do, there's always something wrong with it, or you start things and you don't finish, and that gets critiqued, or you critique yourself for it. But maybe if you do critique yourself for it, that came from an experience in the past where someone triggered shame in you for the way that you get things done. What's happening with this new moon is that is going to be activated in a way that allows you to release something in your inner world. You're going to maybe see something for the first time, or be finally ready to change an imprint from your inner world, your family upbringing, your 4th house matters, which could be home, mother, place that you came from. That's where Pluto is. And for some of you, this could completely change your home and your routines. And that's what is making you feel more sensitive about the work you're getting done. For some of you, this could show up as illness with Chiron in the 6th house. This is not for everyone, and this is only going to speak to those of you who know that this is something that you're going through on your specific path. This is a moment where you could temporarily feel a flare, but it's going to release more energy and create a shift. You might find the right treatment. You might find a new routine that really suits you, that allows you to have follow through and be the leader in the world that you want to be. But something might need to change at home or your inner world in order for all of this to happen. There certainly could be tension with who you see yourself to be as a unique person and the persona that you share with the public, the person that you are as a leader. A moment like this, where your 4th and 10th house axis are activated, is a moment to realign what actually is true to you on the inside and how that expresses out in the world. Venus in your 8th house is squaring the South Node and Mars in your 11th and the North Node in your 5th. This is energy where shared resources could be the topic. If you are responsible for shared resources within networks or communities, you might see an opportunity for something to change, for something more unique and authentic to be done with mutual resources. You might get friction from others at first, but it will be an opportunity to see who is a match for the systems you want to work with and who is not. If it's you or other people, anything that is overly worrisome or scrutinizing or critical or getting overwhelmed by the detail, there's an opportunity here to get to the core of the energy of these systems with the North Node in Pisces. We sometimes have created complicated systems of organization with communities that get outdated, but there's an energy that connects us all, that is always evolving, that is always there, that is always relevant for the amount that we're able to perceive and pay attention to that. But the systems on the outside need to match. So for Scorpios, this is a lot of inner and outer. And it's Scorpios out there that are going to be getting clues as to what the inner system is of yourself, of these greater networks and communities, and what is now more functional for actually getting work done out in the world. This is a time to be more careful with shared resources, but ultimately what is meant to come up, what is meant to erupt will. You could suddenly have money come in from the past that you weren't expecting, and that could change your networks and communities. You're going to be shown a way that is more fun, more authentic, more playful. Some of you could have work with children, or this could have to do with your children in general and the money that you allocate and share to manage children. But for others, this could be about making that part of your life more authentic and more playful. And if there are communities and groups of people that are not on that page with you, that are not helping your creativity grow or not allowing you to feel authentic, those people are going to shift over the next little while. You're going to find new people coming in at the eclipse. Or that's just in the fall, in September when the eclipses show up, that's when you're going to feel more change come about. But for now, Scorpio, allow your inner world to change and watch how the rest unfolds later in the year. Pay attention to what it is that you need, what it is that makes you feel authentic, what it is that you want to share in the world, and a sense of who you want to go on this journey with. What would your ideal shared resources be? And this is an opportunity for psychological purging and release. So if you're working with a therapist or you've been thinking about it, this is a great time to get into subconscious work and just really transform and have a sudden reversal around some of those deeper subconscious topics and patterns. And ultimately, you're going to feel more connected to joy and to yourself. Thank you so much for being here, Scorpio, and hanging out with this video. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments. And if you would like to meet me for a one-on-one Zoom reading and get more information on your specific sign, I will link my booking site in the description below. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Sagittarius, this is a 9th house new moon for you. And the 9th house is the Sag house. It's about seeking the truth and experiencing the world to get an understanding of what works. It's not about learning from books or learning from media. It's about feeling it in your experience and knowing that is a truth because you have lived it. You have seen it with your eyes. You have touched it with your hands. Leo as the ruler of this house for you is very fitting. This is your authentic self. This is what you're proud of in life. Sagittarians have this unique ability to explore knowledge in its true essence, in its natural form. This can represent nature itself and natural laws in the world. This is also a house of your belief systems, your spiritual beliefs, your beliefs about culture and existence in general. This is a house of foreign people, foreign places, foreign lands, and it can represent travel. Because it's through travel and experiencing foreign things that we develop this knowledge of what something new really means. But there's something from the past coming back to redo with Mercury retrograde here. Could be about the way that you communicate these things, the way that you express your pride and your pride because it's authentic to you to be able to discover life this way. If it's something that you have felt you've had to conform in yourself to fit into other groups, this is a moment with the Pluto opposition to this moon where Pluto is going to show you where you might have trauma around being different. And that's holding you back from more of this authentic self-expression. But it has to do with sharing your beliefs. It has to do with sharing your experiences with others and knowing that even if they're different, even if people don't understand you or can't express in ways that make you feel understood and make you feel accepted, that it doesn't matter. That they're still learning something from you sharing your experience with them. I often have this experience where I have a conversation with someone and in the moment, something doesn't land, or maybe it does, but only a small portion of it. And it's afterwards, when another experience happens later on, that my memories of that conversation come back. And then I have a deeper understanding of something. And that's what you could be offering other people. Pluto is in your 3rd house, which makes this a 3rd house, 9th house opposition to the moon. And the 3rd house is about words that we use, the way that we communicate and express ourselves, the way that our mind learns, and the way that we adapt to new information in a functional daily way. Things like writing and language. The third house can be how we share knowledge, and the ninth house can be how we process it, how we experience it. Even reading a book, it can show up in both houses, but the ninth house is how we integrate that information and make sense of it and adjust our beliefs of the world in accordance to this new knowledge that's coming. So this tension between these houses for you right now is an opportunity to purge and release something that's holding you back from deepening your expression and your communication, the way you share with others, the way you think in a daily practical way. If you're a writer, if you create media content, this is going to change your ability to be able to show up in ways that are different. And that's what creates success these days. We're moving out of a model of sticking to safety and old structures and being the same because that's what gets acceptance. As we're moving into a more creative time, people are seeking new knowledge, and they can't get new knowledge from people who are just repeating the past. And it's through our creative human nature that we get to understand new levels of evolution and knowledge as we accept that into our lives. So keep all of that in mind. Chiron for you is in the fifth house, where wounds are about your creative self-expression. It could be children that are part of this. It could be dating and romance. It could be hobbies that you're a part of, or just your creative projects. There's a sensitive point here with Chiron that is going to challenge your learning, your expression, your third house and ninth house topics. And it's through this sensitivity and this old wounding that you could have a creative intellectual outburst or revelation, something new really hits. But there is very likely a condition of tension that propels this. So if you're feeling that build in your life, look for those clues to how this is allowing you to be more you, to be different, to be creative, to be brave and bold, and be comfortable being seen for the knowledge that you hold. Venus is in your seventh house of partnerships, squaring the south node in your 10th house and squaring the north node in your fourth house. Partnerships are highlighted here, romantic partnerships, what you find pleasurable and secure in partnerships, what's safe, what brings you the sense of abundance with another person. There's something in your reputation and your leadership in your 10th house, maybe career, but this is about your self-authority and how you carry yourself in the world and in the public. There's something there that's letting go. It could be a partner, a romantic partner, a marriage partner that is challenging this point in your life and bringing it to light. It's going to help you feel more at home and more safe in the long run with the North Node in your fourth house. But at a moment like this new moon, this is a time where you get new insight into how it is that you are acting out in the world, how relationships can provide a mirror and a better understanding of your internal assessment of yourself, and how that creates a safer place at home, a safer place in your internal world, and just a general ability to lean on yourself and feel safe and secure in that process, and not always on other people. Though in this case, there's a mix of both. For a lot of Sages, I see marriage or romantic partners being a part of this. It could be a female in your life that shows up and helps create this situation. When it comes to your public image, when it comes to the South Node and Mars in that 10th house and something to let go of, in Virgo, there could be a layer of you don't have to have it all together to be a leader. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all of the details covered, though that's lovely. But there's a level of reaching an impossible neatness and sorting it all out and figuring it all out that could be preventing you from standing up in the positions that you are actually very qualified to do. But there's this inner feeling of not quite having a grasp on all the details. And that's okay sometimes. This could be an opportunity for vulnerability in leadership, vulnerability in the workplace. And when people see that we are all the same, we're all doing our best, we have a sense of knowledge that we can share with others. But we also have days where we miss steps, and certainly on a Mercury retrograde. So I could see this being the case for Sagittarius. There could be some stuff that shows up in how you feel about your public reputation that is allowing you to ease into the imperfection, ease into the flow of life, and that sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's not easy to organize, and that's okay. The best leaders can have those days and other days where they work through it and can show that process of organizing what is seemingly unorganizable. Ultimately, your communication and your belief systems are what is going to shine right now. You're going to be showing where you're really skilled at that, and that is going to help with whatever else is showing up in career, in home, in partnership. You have a way of seeing the world that others really need to see right now, Sag, and you have the words to do it too. So however it shows up, let it be messy, let it get organized in September or into early next year as we continue to go through a lot of astrological changes. And I look forward to being there with you along the way. Thank you for being here for this one, though. And if you would like to chat more about your chart, I will link my booking link in the description below. And so much fun chatting with you in the comments. Thanks for engaging in this, and I will see you next time. Hi, Capricorn. This is an 8th house new moon for you. So this is a brand new beginning with shared resources. This is merging with another person, intimacy. This is your psychological transformation. Regardless of the details of this 8th house when it comes to merged resources and other people's resources supporting you, this is always going to energetically be about your psychological experience, especially at a time where we have a Pluto opposition from your 2nd house. Something is going to activate your sense of security, abundance, wealth, growth, possessions, the way that you share your energy with the world, the way that you share your energy and merge energy with another person in the 8th house. Something's going to show up that's going to help you release old values, old ways of thinking about security and finances and abundance, and realizing that there's a new way to do it when it comes to working with other people. You don't have to do everything on your own. And that's a very Capricornian vibe, that you understand the hard work required in life. But it's not always easy for a Capricorn to let someone else steer the ship, to let someone else help, to let someone else join in financial commitments or in intimate connections and commitments. Mercury retrograde here is going to bring something back from the past. This could be a psychological transformation that you've been working on. This could have to do with your money mindset and your feelings around having everything you need in this life, having everything you need with another person, and when it comes to your own security. Chiron in the 4th house is an indicator that this is coming from the way that you were raised. Your mother, your home life. There's a wound that is being activated when it comes to your inner world and home. And this is what is going to activate the opportunity for change with these financial houses of the axis of the 2nd and 8th house. It's going to be different for everyone. But if something shows up with your home life or with your family life that just touches a sensitive spot, know that this has beyond your own values changing at the moment and the way that you merge with other people. This is a wound that can help you connect with other people and heal together on a journey towards feeling secure in this world. healing family dynamics. Wonderful opportunity for that. But usually to step into that zone, we need something to activate it. This is just one of those moments. Venus is in your 6th house, squaring the South Node and Mars in your 9th and the North Node in your 3rd house. This axis is about your ability to bring in new ideas and concepts, experience them for yourself. This could be travel, foreign people, foreign places. But there's something that is leaving from this part of your chart in the 9th house with Mars in the South Node. It could be that there's something from a past life that you're connecting with when it comes to foreign places, foreign people. But more likely, this is something that's leaving and being released right now. And you're moving out of needing to find the deeper truths of everything. You might have a past life sense of experiences that have guided your ways of thinking about the world. But this is a moment to lean into the language that you use, the media that you share, the way that energy fuels your words, the way that you get an intuitive urge or intuitive nudge to speak in certain ways, because it's about the delivery on a day-to-day basis. And that's Venus in your 6th house. There could be topics around romance, dating, pleasure, money that are connected to your health, your daily activities, your routines. And it's the 6th house where Venus is, that it's the health and routines and how you get pleasure in your day-to-day experience. That is what is activating thoughts around your belief systems and the way that you communicate. This could be an energy of your thoughts affect your health. Your thoughts affect how much work you can get done. Your belief systems affect the way that you communicate and share ideas with other people. So if you believe that no one's going to listen because of past life experiences, then you're going to probably not be in that zone of choosing the right words and actually being heard. So then it repeats that cycle. Whereas if you're shifting your mindset around the idea that this is a new day, this is a different time, these are different people, your ideas could land really well. Then you're going to be more grounded. You might choose different words and you might be in an intuitive space where you're guided to use the right language where other people can receive what you're sharing. There's something in your work or your everyday life or your health and wellness that's shifting and activating that. Venus can represent, if it's health and wellness, Venus can represent the female reproductive organs. It can represent sugar and sweets and the things that we do that are really indulgent around our daily routines and habits. If that's the case for some of you, then it's indulgences that are starting to change your beliefs about how you want to operate, how you want to express yourself, and how you want to be in the world. And that could be what shifts this new moon in your 8th house of psychological transformation, because it's our psyche and the way that we process subconscious material that affects our daily habits. So if we're ignoring subconscious material, more likely we are going to need to self-soothe through unhealthy habits. If we are releasing and working through subconscious material, then we can set new routine goals, new health goals, new work goals, and are more likely to have the energy to focus on that with a clear mind. Out with old ideas, in with new ones. This is an energy to be really open-minded, Capricorn. It could come from places that are very foreign to you. And it's through being open and curious that you allow for new routines, you allow for psychological transformation, and you keep yourself open rather than resisting any of what comes up. With the Pluto opposition to this new moon, they do say that there is no resisting. Pluto just has its way, and the resistance can actually make a situation more uncomfortable. So if you're getting clues as to the direction that you're going in right now, lean into it. Even if it feels challenging, the payoffs are always worth it with a Pluto journey. Thank you for being here, Capricorn. I hope you are having a wonderful new moon. Thank you so much for being here, and it's so much fun chatting with you in the comments and seeing you for one-on-one readings. If you would like to hear more about your chart this month, check out my booking link in the description below. And otherwise, I will see you for the next one. Have a great new moon. Aquarius, this is a new moon in your partnership house, your 7th house. This is about self and other on this axis, and this new moon opposing Pluto in your sign is a moment of relationships coming back from the past, probably with Mercury retrograde, at the very least conversations in relationships that are coming back from the past. This is your one-on-one relationships. But the goal here is about purging something in your identity, in who you are as a person that is autonomous and stands alone from the other in a relationship. There is a balance to do here of togetherness and separateness. Chiron in your 3rd house is squaring this opposition with Pluto and the new moon. That's an energy where it's about communication. It's about your thoughts, the way that you receive information from other people. It's media. It is books that you read, how you learn. Because this is squaring your partnership and self-axis, this is how you learn with another. How do you learn within relationships? And most important is, how do you learn about yourself? And with Mercury retrograde in your partnership house, Chiron in your 3rd house, any wounds that you have around your learning and communication with others could be activated. But this is a moment where you have an opportunity to bring a really gentle energy to the situation. Remember that this Chiron wound in your 3rd house is being activated with a partner. And most likely they have a similar wound when it comes to being heard, learning, hearing another person, and the words that are used. It's the thing with words. We don't know what words could trigger someone else in a really negative way that could bring up a memory from the past that maybe they don't even fully remember. It's the subconscious memory. And the same thing goes for you. Someone could use a word from their perspective is meaningless and harmless, and they're trying to say something completely different, but it comes across in a challenging way for you. Keep that in mind with whatever conversations you're having, and make this an opportunity to first be able to be really gentle and nurturing with yourself, and approach whoever it is that you're having a conversation with from that place of softness and gentleness towards how you're feeling about the situation, how you're feeling hurt, how they're feeling hurt. This could just be an opportunity where relationships feel different. You're stepping into a new territory, but with all of these planetary retrogrades, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Mercury, this is about an internal new beginning. And it's the internal new beginning that you are having that's going to have a big, long-lasting effect on your partnerships. Venus is in your 5th house, squaring the South Node and Mars in your 8th house, and the North Node in your 2nd house. Topics around relationships and your belief systems, because Venus rules your 9th house, as well as your 4th house. So the place that you were raised, the families that you came from, the belief systems and the mentalities that you have about how the world works from your perspective. This is all coming up in conversations of relationships, how you have fun together, whether or not you want children, how you raise children if you already have them. Your values could feel challenged, but this is an opportunity to create different values, to adjust your values, to have values that are more grounded in a spiritual, energetic essence. If your values are about more details, like being organized and seeing every detail in a similar way with your partner, then that could create more unnecessary conflict compared to going into the energy of the core of the detail of it at an energetic essence. And you might find more common ground with your partner there. So something needs to go about your subconscious attachments to organization, criticism, perfection, everything being organized in a functional way. That's a wonderful quality to have. It is a wonderful thing with that Virgo energy to work towards, but it doesn't always create intimacy. So letting go of some of that fixation on detail and service and merging more in a place of unifying energy is what's going to get you to those deeper, intimate levels with other people. Specifically relationships. This does look like committed relationships, partnerships, contractual, karmic partnerships, even for Aquarians out there. Ultimately, this is a new beginning in partnerships. This is a new way of viewing the world, a new way of sharing information, a new way of presenting yourself as a unique individual within a partnership that gets to remain that unique individual, but also merge with another, and knowing that sometimes in that merging process, some of the detail needs to fall to the side and you need to focus on what really matters in the ways that you do connect and worry about the other detail when it's really called for. It's going to bring you more pleasure and more fun with Venus in your 5th house. This is an energy where you could overdo it with fun and pleasure too. Children are also in the 5th house, so that could apply to a few of you. Whatever's showing up at this time is going to bring you more authentic self-expression and more fun, more play, more curiosity and creativity, and it's going to expand your mindset as well as the health of your partnerships. That's a lot, Aquarius, a lot going on for this new moon. You let me know how this is showing up for you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. But thank you for just being here and joining me in this video. If you would like to know more about your personal chart, I will link my booking link for my website in the description below. Have a wonderful Leo new moon, and I will see you next time. Pisces, this is the 6th house new moon for you. So you are revisiting topics around health, wellness, routines, habits. This is how you run your day-to-day life. This is service to yourself and service to others. I like to think about this house as how we feel about the daily grind. Do you feel like a slave to your life, to your health, or are you enjoying the process? Do you feel like you have a routine that feels authentic to you, where you can be brave and bold and creative? That's the Leo quality in this house. With Mercury retrograde here and in opposition to Pluto in your 12th house, you're going to be completely transforming how you rest and retreat, your subconscious mind potentially. This is overseas travels as well, faraway places. But this is everything that's separate from daily functioning, separate from the 6th house. This is also our intuitive space, where you're connected to the energy that connects all things and to divine energy and godlike qualities and whatever that language is for you. With Aquarius in this part of your chart, ruling your 12th house, you have a unique ability to be ahead of your time. You can see things in a way that haven't been done before. This is the energy of revolutionizing what is already in concrete structural form, breaking the mold. If you have been hiding this part of yourself, this is a moon where this starts to crack open. There's something in your routine, in your health, in your daily habits that cannot wait anymore. It needs more of your radical, never been done before, intuitive sense about the world. So what you were hiding in that department has the opportunity to come to light. You have the opportunity to purge any blockages that have been preventing you from tapping into this ahead of the times energy with Aquarius in your 12th house. This is a time where you could get downloads and information or a sense of things that you end up applying to your daily life that gives you a new zest for your health and routines. There's a level of bravery that's going to be required, but with tension like this in this moon and squares showing up and Pluto involved, it's like we get to this point where you can't stay the same. Situations and conditions are going to show up that make it a lot harder to stay on the path that you were on and make the new and uncomfortable look like the best option. Venus in your 4th house is squaring the nodes in your sign and the South Node in partnership with Mars. Any past ways of being in partnership or any ways that your partners are reflecting things back to you, your ways of understanding yourself through other people, through your home life with Venus in the 4th house. There's also some tension building here. Your partner could be going through a lot. Your partner could be challenged with anger and frustration, repressed anger, frustration around being able to get everything done, seeking a level of perfection and organization that is not really attainable, or at least not attainable in a way that creates healthy balance. And that's what this Mars and South Node is going to be for a lot of Pisces, is not only is your partner going through this experience of being overly concerned with detail, what's your relationship with it? What's your relationship with perfection, with striving to get everything together in a concrete, functional way of service? Are you overly of service to your partner? Or is there more that you could show up with? Likely there's a level that's being released with Mars in the South Node right now, and it's less about showing up for your partner as it is for really understanding who you are, what your role is, and what you need. And then you can be there for your partner or for other people. But this energy could show you where you have been depleting yourself and where it's time to pull back again. And you're going to get more of this during eclipse season in September and into next year after Saturn and Neptune retrograde back into your sign in September, October, and into the spring. Final changes, Pisces. So whatever's showing up right now, know that it is one more piece of this process. With Mercury retrograde, there's just a little more to go over with partnerships. Fated changes are coming on this axis for you in September. I'm excited to go to do those videos when it's time. But for now, this is an introduction to what is going to happen later on. It's going to relate to Venus in your 4th house when it comes to pleasure in your inner world, your relationship to security, abundance, beauty, pleasure that was passed down to you through your family, that is going on in the home that you actually live in, that's connected to the mother side of the family. It's going to be different for everyone, but the essence is that there's something about your security, your financial security, your sense of pleasure and enjoying beautiful experiences in life that is creating that challenge on the partnership axis. It could be that you and your partner are not quite seeing eye to eye on topics of money and pleasure and comforts and enjoyment at home. And there's just some recalibrating to do. There are conversations that need to be redone when Mercury is retrograde, or that just didn't get addressed the first time around. And when it comes to Venus in your home life, it does connect well to the 6th house new moon of what are your routines? What are your daily habits at home? And do those jive with a partner? Is it all about your partner's habits at home and what they want to do for pleasure? Or are you getting a say in that too? And is it balanced? For Pisces out there, this is good energy to really get in touch with what matters to you. have those challenging conversations, but know that with Mercury retrograde, you want to be extra sensitive and patient because the things that are being said and discussed might not, there could be some misunderstandings, and that's okay. It's misunderstandings that then create a platform for more discussion and more expansion. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just know that Mercury retrogrades can sometimes create energy of frustration when there's a lot of repeating the old, doing things from the past that you thought were done. Have patience for that. It's going to clear up again at the end of August, and eclipse season is going to really show you where things are at. Ultimately, this is going to bring you more pleasure, stronger, healthier relationships, and you're going to feel safe at home. You're going to have that sense of abundance and joy and connection to the things that are pleasurable about this earthly experience. But I would love to hear how this is going for Pisces out there. Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to hear more about your personal chart, I will put a link to my website where you can book a one-on-one Zoom reading with me. Would love to see you there. But for now, have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Aries, this is a new moon in your 5th house. This is all about Leo for you, creative self-expression, children, play. What is it that makes you feel authentic and brave being yourself? Children are great role models for us for that. This new moon could be about children, about your own children, or it could be that you are going to get reminders of what it's like to be childlike again and to have that kind of authentic fun. It's through tension from Chiron in your 1st house. So this is wounds around being yourself again. This is about being able to assert yourself like an Aries does. This is also an opposition to this moon with Pluto in your 11th house is also in opposition to this moon in your 5th house. Pluto is on a mission to transform your friends, your communities, the way that you connect with community, who you are in a group. So this moon looks like an important back step because of Mercury retrograde conjoining this moon. In activity with all this other stuff, with Chiron, with Pluto, about self. And who are you when you're in a crowd? Who are you when you're on your own, behind closed doors, when it's just you? This could be a moon where situations show up with friends, with community, with the way that you have fun, especially organizations that have to do with your hobbies or sports teams or things like that. If you're involved in that, could be organizations to do with your children if children is part of the mix for you. But it's through this arena that you're going to learn more about what your real creative expression is like, what self really means. Sometimes as the years go by and we become adults, we gradually lose track of what authentic self is because we're told over and over again to grow up, to mature. So the authentic self as an adult is different than the authentic self as a kid or as a child, but there will be some of that essence carried forward. Venus in your 3rd house is squaring the 6th and 9th house axis. Communication needs to be looked at with this energy. How are you coming across in relationships, in romantic relationships? Is there media and communication that you are looking at for pleasure and enjoyment, security, safety, but it's maybe not benefiting you truly in those ways? Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Libra. So it represents in Libra relationships, romantic relationships, partnerships. And as a representative of Taurus, it represents security, stability, the sensual things in life that we enjoy, beautiful things, eating for pleasure, doing things that we do in this earthly realm to experience pleasure. When this planet's in your 3rd house and it's in a challenging aspect to your 6th and 9th house, topics around how your delivery of information goes at work, with your routines, You might find that you are getting more intuitive guidance in your language, and you're going to be able to use this to your advantage, but it might come about from a more stressful conversation. With Mars and the South Node in your 6th house, what is it about your routines that needs to change? To me, for a lot of Aries, this looks like there's media stuff involved, enjoying social media in ways that are not necessarily benefiting you. It might feel like pleasure, but it's not quite the routine that you want. This is a time where rest is going to be diverted to something healthier, but it might come through a challenge first. There might be something to do with work and routines that even your health could get inflamed with the South Node and Mars conjoining in your 6th house. But when it comes to routines, you're going to be shown something probably Venusian, probably some sort of overdoing pleasure, but it is related to communication. It could be short distance travel. It could be cousins, close relatives, siblings. But something about this is shifting your productivity, shifting the way you do things, and it's going to benefit your health ultimately. This is a mixed bag where Uranus is in your 3rd house. You're getting genius new ideas, but sometimes those come from a bit of a struggle in a small moment, does pay off over the long haul. Do watch for sensitivity around yourself and know that this is about stepping into a braver, more authentic version of you. We can feel brave in Leo and Aries energy. There can be a sense of fire behind these signs that propels action and builds confidence and gets things moving. But it can mask an underlying feeling of insufficiency or inadequacy. And when that's the case, this is when the fire gets bigger than it needs to be. So there's this swinging of less and more. And this is a new moon where you're finding more middle ground, but you're redoing something when it comes to fun, pleasure, dating, children. That's still the important piece of this moon cycle. All the other stuff is a bit of background noise, but it's still an important part of the story. It's important in the choices that you're going to make to building more of that 5th house fun that feels really good for you moving forward. I would love to hear how this is going for you, Aries. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments below. But thank you for just being here, for hanging out, watching this video. And if you would like to process more with your personal chart, check out my booking link in the description, and I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a 4th house new moon. This is all about your inner world. This is the energy that you took on from your family lineage, the place and home that you came from. Could be wounding from faraway places, from unseen realms, hidden wounds that you are not aware of, something that comes to you from a psychic download that was hidden behind the scenes. It very likely points to that inner world stuff. Something from the past is coming back. Mercury is retrograde and conjoin this moon in your 4th house of Leo. You are having ideas come to you, new learning about what it means to be authentically you, to feel brave from a place that doesn't have to fight for it. When you're really in an authentic place in your inner world, there's a gentleness to your approach to everything. When it already is and you're certain of it and it's not coming from a place of inadequacy, then our actions to the rest of the world, to the outer world, are more balanced. I mentioned the outer world because Pluto is in your 10th house and it's opposing this new moon in the bottom of your chart of your 4th house. So this is balancing your public image and what's really going on the inside. And when we're transforming our public image with Pluto, it's a big overhaul. It is about authority figures. It is about your inner authority. This energy speaks a lot to authority that is solid, and Taurus is a very solid sign. When authority is pushy, it backfires. When authority is coming from a place of needing to control for safety or other types of more dominating behavior, that's an energy that we're trying to eradicate. The way to that is to really feel self-assured and to know that you have authority over self. And that's what matters most. We can't always control everyone else. And that's the Aquarius 10th house for you. It's not about the systems and the authority that the systems have over everyone and everything. It is about that standalone energy in self and how much power it has for change, how much power it has for our internal happiness and choosing the things that matter to us, even when life is full of struggles or going through challenging moments. So this is hidden with Chiron in your 12th house, or it has to do with a wound from faraway places, from not in your everyday life. It can also be hospitals and prisons, because those are places that are separate from society. Often this is a house of rest and dreams. And so you could have a dream that wakes up a fear inside of you or wakes up some feeling. It's a wonderful opportunity to really stick with that and see what the messages have for you. Venus in your 2nd house is squaring Mars in the South Node in your 5th, and the North Node is in your 11th. So this North Node journey has been about your community, your networks, society that you're a part of. With Venus in your 2nd house squaring the nodes and Mars in the South Node, this is another energy that is about balancing yin and yang. Yin energy is the receiving container, and yang energy is what goes towards and moves towards action. You have yin energy in your 2nd house, which is the Taurus house of values, assets, your self-worth, your possessions. So this is an energy where you're being shown to let things come to you, but it could come through a bit of conflict. Mars in your 5th house with the South Node, you could be feeling more frustrated with children, with your ability to have fun, with people that you do hobbies with. You could have issues from the past come back up to look at. And it has to do with micromanagement, with over-attention to the detail, with trying to make everything organized and perfect as possible. Sometimes we need to just let things be the way they are. Going with the flow sometimes means letting things be messy. Not always, but it's about the balance. And when we can have the right balance of both going with the flow and giving in to what feels like chaos, but is actually what the divine energy of all things is. It doesn't have form. It doesn't have boundaries and borders and boxes and structures and buildings. Those are all human concepts. So outside of our human structures, we're a bit messy. Boundaryless, that is. The point is that there is room for that lack of understanding every detail. And it is a wonderful skill to be able to also look at all the detail and be of service and have things organized and orderly. But giving in to the flow of things is what is going to expand your communities and networks. It is what is going to allow you to find those societal groups that work with you. And it's going to come down to values. It could come down to money. It could come down to pleasure, what you find joyful. But it is about your self-worth with Venus in your 2nd house. Venus is the ruler of your 6th house, which is typically that Virgo energy, which is the Mars and South Node. So there's just some overlap there, which means that there's more Virgo activation. This is about the service and the detail-oriented things. If you feel that being of service or paying attention to all the detail that other people can't is more important, then some of the connections might not be working the way that you might want them to, because not everyone shares the same values when it comes to those things. So this is a moment where you're getting more clear on what matters to you, but you're also finding more flexibility with going with what the group wants and what the group needs. In the end, with a Leo new moon, what you'll find is that your values, what matters to you, how you show yourself in public, your self-authority, your self-leadership, it is all within you, no matter what is going on around you, no matter what is going on in your friend groups, no matter what feels like it's shifting in your public image. Look to these things, Taurus, especially what's in your inner world, your home life. Revisiting some topics around there is really going to help your public image, how you manage authority figures in the world, in society, in groups. And ultimately, the North Node, we're going to talk more about that in September and into next year, but ultimately, the North Node in your 11th house is bringing you closer to connections that matter, is helping you stand out on your own and be unique, working towards a cause that really matters to you. This is energy where you're breaking free of doing what the crowd is doing, but you're also letting them. But you're finding what it is that matters to you to move forward in a new and inventive way. And I'll be talking about that in lots of videos to come. That is an ongoing configuration with Uranus for quite some time. But for now, thank you for being here for this video. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments and meeting you for one-on-one Zoom calls. If you would like to hear more about your personal birth chart, check out my booking link in the description below. And for now, have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is a third house new moon for you. So this new moon conjunct Mercury retrograde opposing Pluto is on your third and ninth house axis, which is about ideas. This is a Gemini house. So this is curiosity, the ideas you exchange with other people, the ways that you communicate, the ways that you receive information. Media can be involved in this house. This is also transportation, short distance travel, siblings, neighbors, close relatives. But the essence of the energy is about intellectual connection. The ninth house, where Pluto is your broader concepts of the world, the bigger truths of how you see the world, how it functions, what it means on a philosophical level, on a spiritual level. And it is the way that you experience the world to make sense of it. This is not learning from textbook in the ninth house, though it can be. This is higher learning in academia, publishing, but it is more about the eagle eye view of everything. Pluto in the 10th house, challenging the third house new moon. It's a band of tension that means that whatever you're learning, you're taking in, whatever information you're sharing, it needs to have a higher purpose and a higher meaning. And it needs to be a truth that you have felt and experienced for yourself. You could be interested in learning new things and taking in new information, but you're going to be applying it to a filter of what does that really matter to you? How does that change the way that you experience the world? How does it change the way that you integrate foreign places, foreign people, foreign experiences? You could have a teacher come into your life that completely turns this upside down. You could become a teacher yourself. Some of your ideas from the past with Mercury retrograde here could be moving towards publication. But likely with Pluto in the ninth house, there is a moment of complete reversal and transformation, even purging of foreign people, foreign places, foreign things. This can be actual travel, but it is more likely for a lot of people going to be about releasing a concept that you hold onto that isn't quite matching the current environment that we're in. There could be tension on this axis between what you believe and what you're taught by the system, the ways that you intellectually feel different than the systems out there. This is a moment where being confined to the way that people have done things in the past, spiritually and philosophically, and the ways that you were taught to look at the world or the way other people look at the world. With Aquarius in the ninth house, you see the world through a different lens, and you may not always feel comfortable expressing that. Whatever shows up right now is very likely an opportunity to overcome any blockages you have to putting your media out into the world, sharing your knowledge, speaking about things that really matter to you and that you see as true, regardless of how different and out of the norm that is. Perhaps the more out of the norm and the more you need to step into the Leo bravery of self-expression and creative individual thinking and just being seen, the more that that's contrasted, the better the opportunity it is for you. So it might feel challenging in the moment to step into it, especially with Chiron square from your 11th house, which is a Uranus house. This is about systems, community, social networks, your audience. There's a wound here again about Aquarius 11th house topics that give you the opportunity to do something revolutionary and step outside of the box when it comes to showing other people what it is that you're made of, what it is you believe in, and helping create positive change for the future moving forward for collective groups, for groups that you're a part of, for the communities that you're a member of, your specific society in the world. On a personal level, this can enhance the feelings of me versus we. What do we do to feel together and a part of things versus what we do to really honor ourselves and be that unique individual. But we need community. And this is for everyone going to be a new moon where we are one step closer to being able to connect in a community and be at odds and be different than the norm as well. You could be helping other people with wounds around feeling connected. You could have a mission and a passion about helping out the underdog. Maybe there are times where you have felt that yourself, and not the underdog, but really just a bit different than the group. And whatever it is that you're doing, some of you could be helping others that might have felt isolated in the past and coming together on those mutual grounds with that mutual Chiron wound around community in some way. What is community to you? What does it mean to work as a system and work collectively? What does it mean to be within a community that is pushing the boundaries of what has been done and what is new and revolutionary? Because what is new and revolutionary could really help our future, but in the moment, it's sometimes a challenge to get off the ground. Venus is in your sign and it's squaring the nodes in your 4th and 10th house. For you, Venus is an energy of fun. It is pleasure. Libra is your 5th house, so you derive a lot of fun from your relationships. Venus is also the ruler of your 12th house, and that can be more about the energy that connects everyone. This is a house of rest. This is a house of hidden things. It's a house of intuitive guidance as well. With Venus in your sign, you could feel more intuitively guided towards what is fun, what is authentically you, with Venus also being the ruler of your 5th house, which is classic position of the Leo house, which is the moon we're talking about today. So there's a lot of overlap for you with Leo and Aquarius themes being brought up. The nodal axis, though, in your 4th and 10th is about releasing something in your inner world. Mars here could have you feeling frustrated, fiery, passionate. Something from the past could be coming around that is helping you release inner anger and frustration, or helping you get in touch with that anger and frustration that can also be an anchor of motivation for what you're doing out in the world. And with North Node and Pisces in the 10th house, your leadership in the world, your relationship to authority figures, your relationship to your inner authority can sometimes feel a little hazy, a little lost in the whimsicalness of the energy behind things. So you are both intuitively guided in this part of your life with the 10th house topics of authority and your role in the world, your public image. Yet there's a dissolving energy here or quality where it might be authority figures that you would rather dissociate from. And you could have this feeling about your own inner authority as well. Any wounds or challenges you have around what authority means are going to be brought into question around this time. And it's an opportunity to realize that authority can have a healthy edge. And unfortunately, in society, we do see a lot of unhealthy expressions of authority and control and dominance. But we're in a time where we are both recognizing these things and learning that we do have some power in our individual worlds to shift how authority is managed. And with Pisces, you are using your authority from a way of connecting with the source of energy. And that's a lovely way to step into authority, because with that intuitive guidance and connecting to the source of energy at the core of situations, you can lead from a place that understands where someone else is coming from, where their limitations are coming from, and also at the same time having compassion for that, knowing that you don't have to give in to that, and that gentle boundaries, or even firm boundaries if they're needed, firm action and moving forward in the world can support the situation, and it doesn't have to be to the point of bullying or dominating another person to get it. So this is a dance that people are going to be going through in their own individual ways. And just keep that in mind, that there's going to be a middle ground of just not dissociating, not being completely passive or disregarding some of the problems with authority and your own power in the world, but finding that middle ground where you can feel empowered and feel in control and not have it be as much of a struggle. Though sometimes struggle shows up for us to find and exercise that nuance of doing things in the best possible way. Because this moon is opposing Pluto, these are topics of empowerment. And whatever shows up right now that might feel like the lack of is actually the path towards more empowerment, more self and inner authority, being more yourself and allowing others to do that as well, or coaching others how to do that. And you might be leading by example. I can see that with the general charts for a lot of Geminis. But you let me know how this is going for you. I would love to hear how this energy is playing out. This last full moon and this new moon are quite profound leading up to eclipse season in September. So lots going on. I look forward to chatting with you all along the way. And if you would like to check out more with a personal one-on-one reading with me, I will link that in the description below. Would love to see you there. But for now, thank you for being here and have a wonderful new moon. And I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is the second house new moon for you. So this new moon conjoined Mercury retrograde is in opposition to Pluto in your 8th house. The second 8th house axis is about resources. It is about your self-worth, your resources, the way that you spend your money, your possessions. And in tension to Pluto in the 8th house, this is about complete transformation of shared resources. Intimacy, energy that you combine with a significant person in your life. This can be support from other people in a lot of different forms. But the balance here in the 2nd and 8th house axis is your energy and another person's energy. And whether it's resources or intimacy or the amount of energy that we give to another person and that they give to us, I often see this figure 8 energy with the 2nd and 8th house axis, is that you want that to be mutual and fair and beneficial to both parties. But that doesn't always come naturally. In the world, there might be different cycles we go through where we ebb and flow this perfection of balance, of give and take, and how we manage energy in general. And that reflects in how we manage our resources. Chiron is squaring this from your 10th house. So a wound around authority figures, your public image, your inner self authority, the way that you assert yourself in the world, your status and reputation. This can be your career as well. This is what is challenging finances and energy exchange for you. So there are lots of ways in the physical world that this could play out for different Cancerians out there. It could be actually work related. It could be marriage or partnership related. Just keep in mind this balance of energy and authority and what you're working towards. And in a romantic relationship, as an example, authority isn't really the goal in intimacy. We want to have self-authority. We want to be sovereign. We want to have a sense of containment around ourselves as we merge with another. We want to choose how much energy we give and receive to help maintain sovereign energy within a relationship even. With Mercury retrograde in the second house, I see this being themes from the past coming back around. Whenever I talk about anything from the past, I like to remind myself that the past is not the future. It can be a warning sign or an energetic nudge to pay attention and make sure that we don't fall into familiar old patterns. But use it as just that whatever's coming up is bringing to your attention an opportunity to do something differently and to create a better situation this time around than what you have done in the past. You might actually need to reassess possessions and assets and money related investments. Don't make any big changes until after August 12th. If you'd like to check out my 2025 planners, they can give you a bit more advice. I'm giving those away for free, so check out the link in the description below. But in general, after this Mercury retrograde, you'll have a better sense of what you're doing moving forward. Venus is in your 12th house, squaring the nodes in your 3rd and 9th. This tension has to do with your ability to rest, your intuitive connection to what's going on, and how you use that in your communication and in your ideas about how the world works, your greater belief systems. With this energy in North Node and Pisces, you're being called to look at things at a more energetic level, especially with Venus in the 12th house, which is the classic position for Pisces. A lot of Pisces energy here. And if there's anything that you have been avoiding or dissociating from or turning a blind eye to, this is a moment where that's going to come more into your field of vision and awareness. And you're going to be able to look at it, and rather than pushing it back, which can then distort your current decisions and choices around energy and resources, you can look at what's been hidden and reform your beliefs about the world. You might be a teacher or find a teacher that gives you a different spiritual look on things, that helps you see philosophy in a different way, in whatever way that works for you, whatever types of philosophy and visions of the world you're looking at. This could have to do with actual foreign places, foreign people, experiences that are different that we have not yet stepped into. So this is energy where getting out of your comfort zone is probably being called for. Letting go of a way of communicating or being very hyper-focused on the details of the words, and knowing that there's a more important nuance of energy behind the limitations of what we can get out in writing and speech. You're going to be paying a lot of attention to those energetic nuances, and your speech, the mental processing part could even get frustrating. You could feel extra annoyed and angry about communication or messages coming in or media that you're taking in. And this is an opportunity to change the way that you're putting things out, whether you're putting out media or writing or just the communication that you use on a regular basis or the way that you take things in. You might choose to look at different media content as a result of realizing that some of it isn't healthy for your overall mental well-being and your perspectives of the world. In all of these themes, you're going to want to keep to the Leo new moon where it is about being brave and self-expressive. But the North Node in Pisces activation and Venus in your 12th house is asking for more fluidity, asking to be part of the chaos, go with the flow, use your sensibilities for sure, but have that balance and find more of that balance of where you can let go of what the detail means and look at the bigger picture. More of the bird's eye view in this. You'll be both looking at yourself and how to keep that sovereignty and Leo qualities about yourself, feeling creative and able to be embodied in an expressive, creative way. And doing something radically different with your intimate bonds, the ways that you merge finances with others, the way that you collaborate with others, the way that you step out into the world as a leader. With Mercury retrograde in your second house and this new moon, just a reminder again that whatever is going on now is a time of inner contemplation and reassessment. And come mid-August, after August 12th, you'll have a clearer understanding of what this redo has been about and how your self-worth and your values are changing in the process. And it's your values about being more bold in the world. That has to do with just the Leo new moon, but I see Chiron in the 10th house as that as well. And Cancers have this natural need to be more safe and at home. You can be out in the public. Cancers are social and family oriented, but it does depend on everyone's personal chart. But a lot of Cancerians out there could have wounds around being out in the public and who they are as an authentic leader and as an authority figure. So your values are about to change, and as a result, your assets and self-worth could change. I would love to hear how this is going for you, Cancer. So much fun chatting with you in the comments below. But thank you for just being here. And if you would like more and like to check out a one-on-one personal reading with me, my booking link is in the description below. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Leo, welcome to your new moon of the year. What a doozy. This is a Mercury retrograde in your sign. This is putting tension and opposition with Pluto in your 7th house of partnerships. Chiron is in your 9th house of beliefs about the world, the truth, the way that you understand and make sense of knowledge through experience in your life. It looks like the ways that you experience relationships right now and the balance of self and other are very much contributing to the ways that you put together the pieces of how the world works. You could feel challenged about the things that you believe when it comes to partnerships, and finding that middle ground of me versus we beliefs, and knowing that you can have a separate belief from your partner and that be okay, actually even more than okay. In astrology, it is the challenges that we have with other people that create the deepest bonds. It is that's the glue and the passion and the opportunity for growth in this human experience. And that's why we are attracted to people, because they're people that can help us grow in whatever it is that our soul and energy needs in that moment. Getting into the nitty-gritty of differences of belief can be a very big part of that. It's how you are going to grow your own set of beliefs and philosophies of the world as well. Issues from the past around feeling seen are likely to come back for Leos right now. And you want to be able to be your wild, heart on your sleeve self and creatively express and be yourself and not feel isolated from your partnerships, your most important partnerships. So there's something transforming there now about being able to be unique and different, and maybe even doing relationships differently than the norm. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's part of what is going to help you feel more you. And that's what the point of this new moon is. Venus is in your 11th house, squaring the nodes in your 2nd and 8th house, which is about values. And that's what Venus speaks to. What do you value? How do you enjoy pleasure and sensuality in this world? The South Node and Mars in your second house in Virgo mean that something is being released in a value that you held on to. You could feel frustrated about something you value and believe in. You could feel frustrated about your own self-worth being reflected in partnerships. And there's something as a result of this frustration that comes to light that you're allowed to release from the past, or you're given a good opportunity to. I would look for things that have to do with feeling of service to yourself or others, feeling like you don't have enough, that there's a sense of lack, feeling like you have to fixate on all of the details and have everything perfectly organized and be on top of all of the detail to have value and security. With the North Node in Pisces, there's a level of giving into the abyss, of trusting that others have your back, that the universe has your back, that there's intuitive guidance you can lean on to find ways to merge resources with other people, to feel supported by other people. And maybe with the 8th house, to have a full psychological transformation. Pluto is the classic ruler of the 8th house, and that is about really transforming our own energy and our subconscious beliefs and trauma patterns that we've held on to in order to have more self-value, more actual assets and value. And with Virgo, you have an ability in the second house to be very diligent with your assets. You typically are on top of all of the details, and you can decide what is of value to you and place energy on that and less energy on things that you don't deem to be so valuable. However, with partnerships, that story has to come into more conversation about what both people find valuable. Venus in your 8th house could have to do with the ways that society has taught you to manage safety, security, and resources and handle relationships. It could be that authority figures have taught you a certain thing about relationships and security, and this is an opportunity to break the mold from that and develop your own inner authority on these topics. It's also about communication because Venus rules Libra of your 3rd house. That means that values around communication, media, the words you use, the information you take in is going to be part of the reworking of what's going on right now. This could be an energy of overdoing it with communities and fun, and maybe with markets. And if you're investing in different markets, there could be some changes that happen there. This is getting into some of the guessing of the details of how this is going to show up for people, and that is never going to be accurate for everyone. So I like to stick to the essence of the energy of these signatures. But just to give you different things to think about for your own life, it could be a female in your society and group or community that starts to shift your values of beauty, of money and security, and what pleasure and sensuality mean to you. Do lean on yourself in this energy, Leo. You're going to be doing a lot of balancing with other people, with social groups, with important one-on-one relationships, with career and public authority and visibility. But always, for this new moon anyway, bring the focus into what matters to you as a creative being. Allow other people to have that as well. So whatever it is that you want to receive from others, make sure that you're leading with that, and that's how you're going to develop that matching balanced energy in your partnerships. But you let me know, Leo. I would love to know how this is going for you. It's so much fun hearing from you in the comments and chatting with you for the one-on-one Zoom calls. If you would like to process more about this new moon, check out my booking link in the description below. But for now, thanks for just being here, and have a wonderful new moon. Hey, Virgo. This is a 12th house new moon for you. So this is a new beginning or redoing something from the past about overseas places, retreat, rest. This is a house that can involve hidden things. It can dissolve certain things. It is everything that is outside of functioning society and day-to-day life. And that's where Pluto is for you. So Virgos are getting this Plutonian upheaval in the sixth house of health, routines, daily activities, your service in the world. This is a Virgo house. So how do you balance rest and retreat and what you're putting out into the world? Chiron is squaring this from your eighth house, which is an energy of resources, mutual resources, shared resources, support from other people. Psychological transformations is a big one. Reworking trauma patterns. The goal being intimacy. More intimacy, deeper bonds, deeper connection, deeper shared energy with other people. But it looks like first there's something to do with rest and work, retreat, and health focus or the grind. Are your routines really serving you? Are you getting enough rest? Are you dissociating and dissolving or turning a blind eye to certain things? Something that you haven't been looking at. This is a lot of subconscious energy with the 8th house and 12th house activation. So a lot of Virgos could be going through subconscious work or having situations show up that really project your subconscious energy and visions onto like a movie reel in front of you that you can watch and spend time meditating right now. This is a time for rest before your birthday season. But this is a time for intuitive guidance, energetic reworking, big time. Actual work could be changing for some Virgos. Venus is in your 10th house, squaring the nodes, and this is your nodal axis. Mars and the South Node are in your sign, which could be a timeout for a lot of Virgos, even more so. You could be feeling more frustrated, more inflamed. There is a risk of injury here. Not all Virgos, but if it does happen, this is about a purposeful, much needed timeout. This is about letting go of old anger, old frustrations, old past hurts that are clouding your subconscious energy and preventing you from the health that you want and the partnerships that you want. The details are always different for everyone, but however this is showing up is going to clear out an old version of you and make room for a new energetic imprint and a new partnership potentially for some of you with the North Node in your 7th house, a new way of doing partnerships for many of you, whether you're in one or not. Even if you don't have a romantic, significant marriage partner or that type of partner, this is how you relate to others in general. And we all need healthy relations to other people. Venus in your 10th house can represent information clashes, your desire for knowledge and what you're putting out into the world. It's going to come into a question of values and your bigger beliefs of the world. This is about sharing philosophical knowledge that you have experienced. And it's through personal experience that you have developed your own truths about something that you're sharing with the public, that you're now making your inner authority. And it's challenging your relationships. It could be challenging your self-identity. And as challenging as Mars in the South Node conjunction could be for some Virgos out there, especially if you are around 10 to 20 degrees, 10 to 25 degrees of Virgo or any placements there. This is just going to show up more as a physical thing. For lots of Virgos, it could just be energetic. Whatever Mars is bringing up, and that can be some heat sometimes, it is like a fire burning that is going to cinder and decompose something that has been getting in the way. This is a great time for emotional processing for Virgos. So if you have things that you like to do for that, this is a great time to reach out to those people or pick up those books or definitely take that time out with this being a 12th house new moon. And it's having more authority over your values that you come to through this more meditative internal processing that's going to help shift who you are in the world, how you match other people, how other people match you. And ultimately, you're being seen in a very lovely light, no matter what's going on, Virgo. So Venus in your 10th house is a great energy to take advantage of if you have anything to do out in the public or for work. it could create a quick action that brings a new person into your life. Or with Mercury retrograde, it's more likely to be a person from the past, but that has a significant role in your career in some way. Ultimately, take lots of time for contemplation right now, Virgo. Have a break if you can. I see this as being such a introspective time for a lot of Virgos, and everyone's chart's different. So if you want to know more about your personal chart, I will put my link for booking in the description below. It's so much fun seeing you there. Also, you can check out your sun, moon, and rising for this video to get more sense of what's going on in the combination of your energies. But you're going to know best because this is an internal moon for Virgos. So let me know in the comments below. It's so much fun chatting with you there, but it's just been great to chat with you here. So thanks for being here. Have a wonderful new moon, Virgo. And I will see you for eclipse season soon, which is on your axis. And you're going to have so much more clarity of what's going on right now by the end of August, and September and October promise even more change to come. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time.